I got this feeling inside my bones. It glows electric wavy when I turn it on. And if you want it inside your soul, just open up your heart, let music take control. I got that sunshine in my pocket, I got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes up off it, moving so phenomenally. I like the way we drop it, so don't stop. And under the lights where everything goes, nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move, girl, you already know. So just imagine, just imagine. Nothing I can see but you. And you dance, 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 dance. Good creeping up on you. So just dance, dance, dance. Come on. All those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. Ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing. Can't stop the feeling. So just dance, dance, dance. Can't stop the feeling.
So trolls are like the little characters with all the big wavy hair.
Oh yeah.
I remember them when they first came out, but the movie was cool. So it's all about these little creatures. Alright. It's all about these little creatures with the wavy hair who are just constantly happy, singing and dancing and hugging all the time. But across the town there's also these other creatures called the Bergens, who are like the exact opposite. They're always grumpy, they've got nothing to be happy about. The only thing that they do to be happy is they eat a troll. And they think that that's what makes them happy, by putting the happiness inside them by eating a troll. The trolls manage to escape the grip of the evil Bergens and set up across the city somewhere else to carry on their singing, dancing and happiness all over.
It's so happy and it's so fun as well. But it is kind of the story of like what makes you happy, because obviously like the Bergens are under this kind of false pretense that the only thing that will make them happy is by eating a troll, whereas the trolls seem to find happiness in other places, and it's kind of that battle between, you know, where do we find happiness, where do we find contentment and stuff like that.
But the Bergens are almost not happy unless they're miserable.
Yeah.
So I know a few people like that myself, to be honest. you have. It's like we all know people like this. There's people who just seem optimistic, happy, full of joy, like all the time, no matter what's happening.
Yeah.
And then you have the opposite, like everything's going great, but some people are just still seem miserable.
They just love to moan. That's like their favourite thing to do.
I think it's a British thing as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be. I think as well it's looking at like putting happiness in, like seeking happiness in the right things, isn't it? So obviously those Bergens were obviously seeking happiness in the wrong things, something quite evil and quite nasty going on there. But sometimes when we look at how we're seeking for happiness, sometimes we can look in the wrong places. Yeah.
Like one of the main characters, Poppy, who I think is the one that's voiced by Anna Kendrick.
Yeah.
She's like the inspiration. She's the one that is all singing, all dancing, is always full of joy, always happy, always trying to help people to look on the positive side of things. And actually she's the one that everyone wants to be like. And actually, spoiler alert, she's the one kind of that you know, as they go through the story, she's affected by different things, and so she starts to question a bit where happiness comes from.
Yeah.
And then there's the branch, the only troll that is like pessimistic
Justin
and is
Timberlake,
grumpy, played by Matty Bentley.
Nice. I really wish.
That you are trying to be more and more like JT, aren't you?
Yeah, but maybe I'm looking for happiness in the wrong place.
Maybe.
Comparison.
Yeah.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Oof.
Is it?
Heavy.
Oh yeah.
Deep, I like it.
Hug time! I wish we could hug every half an hour, but then there'd be no time for singing or dancing, Matty.
Matty, have you even seen Trolls?
No.
So you've got no idea what's going on?
No, I just know the song. Well, most of it.
They have a little like a little watch thing on the wrist, and every hour it goes ding, and then they all cuddle.
You can buy them from Argos.
Nice. That sounds really nice.
It is.
It's lovely.
Everybody, move your feet, everybody. Oh, everybody,
Shake your
united. Oh.
I think we looked at loads of different things to try and make us happy. Like, for some people that could be their friendships or their relationships or a sport or a hobby or whatever. And sometimes we try and do it so much because we think that fills the void inside of us, and we think that that is going to be the thing that makes us happy, but actually they're only ever like short-term things, they're not permanent things.
I think it's challenging sometimes what those things are as well. You know, like when I trained as a teacher, we had to do different lessons and what have you, and I was training to teach PE.
Yeah.
And the head of PE decided we're not going to do the traditional stuff. We're going to do some dance with the kids, and it was in Park High in Birkenhead. So with year 8s teaching them dance, and I was like, oh no, this is going to be horrendous. So we were teaching them "We Will Rock You," and they had to design a bit of dance themselves, and we taught them like a bit at the beginning. And like I'd only just got married, and like my wife Pam wasn't in from work yet, so I thought I'll go upstairs and I'll like practice a bit. Because like I want it to be fun. I want the lads to think it's fun. Like I don't want them to think, oh, it's not football, it's not basketball, whatever. So I thought I'll just have a practice. So I whacked "We Will Rock You" on. It was like the version by 5.
Yes.
So I'm upstairs like doing all this dancing. I hadn't heard Pam come in. And she comes in, just opens the door like to the room I was in, and I'm like got this on practicing the dance, and she's like, what are you doing? Like, I'm just trying to be happy, just trying to dance. Music makes me happy. She's like, just shut the door and walked out shaking her head. But
And how many times has that happened since?
Humorous.
And you wonder where Tom gets it from.
Yeah, dance makes everyone happy.
True. I think sometimes we feel like we do have to like seek for things, and we're always searching for that next thing.
Yeah.
We get something and we're made up for a week or less sometimes, and then we want the next thing, and it's always that next thing to look forward to and to move on to. That's why we all book holidays, really, innit? Something to always look forward to. Then the holiday finishes and all of a sudden we want to move on to something next. But what always impacts me about my faith in God is actually he came down to us through Jesus, and I just think it was incredible where, okay, yes, I still had to seek and find, but he actually came down before me and he showed me his son Jesus, and that's what was incredible for me. It wasn't necessarily me having to find the next thing. Actually, I found all I wanted in him.
Yeah, I think that's the key as a Christian, isn't it? All that we need is in Jesus. God's given us everything we need, and if we go searching for those other things, as you say, it's always the next thing. Like we might get like the latest video console, but there's always another one comes out. You might get the latest phone and another one comes out.
Yeah.
And we can never be satisfied when all our happiness is in things, is in stuff. Even if it's in relationships, you know, your best friend at some point will just let you down. They might not mean to, but it's just how things are.
Yeah.
But like God promises he's never going to leave us or forsake us, or he'll always be with us.
And actually, like, that doesn't mean that bad stuff won't happen.
No.
It doesn't mean that suddenly when we become a Christian our life is perfect in every single way and nothing bad ever happens.
Yeah.
It just means that we've got someone to lean on that is never going to let us down. And like we look in the Bible, there are so many verses that say about how God will never leave us, God will never abandon us, he'll always be right there, he'll always have us. And I think that's what makes the difference, is knowing that even in the bad stuff that you aren't alone, and that it is actually going to be okay, because we know at the end God wins.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that, because I've actually got a verse right here
Something
for
you prepared earlier.
Something I prepared earlier.
Excellent.
Watch too much, Billy Peter. Deuteronomy 31, chapter 31, verse 8 says, do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord will personally go ahead of you. He will be with you. He will neither fail you nor abandon you.
Remember that I commanded you to be strong and brave. Don't be afraid,
Joshua
because
chapter
the
1.
Lord your God will be with you everywhere you go. Joshua chapter 1, verse 9.
I think it's something I've learned, that it's an old saying, but count your blessings, like just to be thankful each and every day brings you that joy that's more than happiness, that you can be that person that even when something difficult happens, that you can remember that although you're in the midst of something difficult, there's so many things to be thankful for still.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like not treating God like he's a genie that will grant you 3 wishes and
Yeah.
you know, I want this, I want this, I want this.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we can get so like consumed in asking God for stuff, which is fine to ask God for stuff, you know, but also, like you said, is to remember to be thankful, remember to just
That's it.
praise him for who he is and what he does, and to be thankful for everything that we have as well.
What helps me is, although it's like a relationship like no other with God, you can almost think of a relationship with somebody else just to compare a little bit. So, for example, if you've got a friend and all you do is the only time you talk to them is to ask something from them, so you're just always going, oh, I'll go and ring up Tom because he'll give me this, he'll give me that, and he always just gives me things. But actually, if you're not having a laugh with Tom, or you're not having a good time with a friend or whatever, it's not the best relationship, is it? It's not the healthiest relationship. And almost it's similar to God in the sense that if we're only asking and we're not thanking and we're not praising and we're not being grateful for what he does for us, or just spending time, yeah, exactly, then is it a healthy relationship that you have? Probably not if you don't do those things.
I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show you your true colors. True colors are beautiful. Like a rainbow. Like a rainbow. Can't remember.
I got all emotional. Like.
I got all emotional.
So at the end of the film, the trolls are all in this like big cauldron. They think they're going to get cooked to be eaten by the Bergens, but they manage to escape, which is fantastic. And on the way out, they decide that actually they want to go back. They want to help the Bergens realise that true happiness doesn't come by eating a troll, that it comes in many different ways. So they actually decide to go back and help them find it. They know what the truth is, and they can't just keep it inside. They want to share it with the Bergens.
That scene, like when I watch the film, always reminds me of that bit in Matthew 5, because it talks about like God colours and kind of letting your light shine, and it's almost like the trolls are so overwhelmed with happiness and knowing what brings them joy that they can't help but share it, and so they go back to the people that have persecuted them and hurt them and bullied them and tried to kill them and eat them, and they go back and they say, no, actually this is what it's all about, and this is why we're so happy. And then once they've shared that with the Bergens then realise the truth, and everybody's happy again, and then we all sing.
It's go on.
No, it's part of what we're called to as Christians, isn't it? To let our light shine. But after that verse, it says so that people see the glory of God and they can praise Him. And it's all about, like, there's all things that like we're desperate to share. Like when we find out something really cool, we want to tell other people, don't we? Like, I know. Pam, my wife, she got this window vac. Like, so, and it's like it's like a little hoover for your windows if you get condensation. So you clean your windows got water on, and you like hoover down with this, and she like tells everybody about it. Like about 20 people we know have bought one since, because she was like, I need to tell you about the window vac. I know, yeah. But it's like we've got something so much greater to share, haven't we?
Yeah.
The like real happiness, real joy is found in a relationship with the God who made us.
This feeling in my body. Can't stop the feeling. This feeling in my body.